been 3 years, I think, since I've made a lobby. The last time I had to make a lobby, I think, is because Fear Dragon was producing his charity event. So I did it as a, you know, because he was busy. So not 3 years ago, but just like once in 3 or 4 years. It's been a while. And finally to the player that I wanted to cast, by the way. Bottom left, we have herO. Top right, it is Epic. Ah. Yeah, that's one thing I forgot. Oh, herO says he's okay. All right, then. So, next time we'll put it on a different server. I'll check beforehand. But, yeah, we're in North America, and there's 3 servers instead of just Europe, which is 1. And I am used to casting Europe. What I was going to point out is that herO is doing a little bit of a cheese. So he might have worse ping than usual. Doesn't stop him from cheesing. Proxygate, coming on down. Barn Burner is a reference to a story about a farmer whose method to get rid of rats that infested his barn was burning down the barn entirely. I feel like that origin story would make a lot more sense if we used Barn Burner as a different way of saying that someone, you know, was overkill. But that's not how we use Barn Burner, so that's weird. CG casting, best casting? Oh, you, thank you. You know, we use Barn Burner as like a party or a fun time or something that was really exciting, and I did assume that it was because people were having so much fun in their little party in the barn out in the middle of nowhere that someone knocked over a lamp and they went, oh shit. Someone just doing super overkill to try and kill some rats. That's weird. Okay, so at this point, Epic knows what's up. At this point, he knows. The Reaper seeing a Zealot come out, you know, in general, at all, a Zealot is suspicious. But, of course, coming from that direction. Wait a second. So, he actually pulls the SCVs to try and take care of it. But mistimes the pull. Well, it's kind of weird for Epic, right? Because you can't just literally have all of your SCVs just standing there for no good reason. So he pulled them perhaps prematurely. At the end of the day, puts them back on mining, hoping that his bunker will finish. It does not. And now the Stalker appears, and that bunker still has a little ways to go. And the Stalker 4 shots an SCV, but also 4 shots a Marine, so it's really has to pick and choose. And even if he kills this SCV, it doesn't guarantee it's going to kill the next one. So, actually, probably would have been a little more annoying. As a Terran player, I'm giving you the Terran player's perspective. It probably would have been more annoying to kill the SCV building a bunker. Even though we know, from the Protoss perspective, the bunker was eventually going to finish anyways. But he actually went for the Marine instead. Interesting. If you grew up seeing Akira, Ghost in the Shell, Berserker, and Ninja Scroll, then Naruto and Dragon Ball Z are literally kid stuff. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. I'm sorry. You just complimented me. So thank you. But also, what the fuck? I would say if you watched Akira and Ghost in the Shell, then I'd put you in the land of anime elitists, especially because you're probably just thinking that they're actually like a movie. And any type of like serial comic is going to make you clutch your pearls. But Berserker and Ninja Scroll? I don't even think they have particularly good arts. I mean, gosh. Better art than freaking Sailor Moon and Azumanga, no, not Azumanga now, Boys Over Flowers, there we go. Better art than that, but still. By Berserker, do you mean Okay, yeah. There it is, there it is. Berserk. I was like, Berserker, wait a minute, that's not it. Berserk. I actually think that Naruto is way better. I'm looking right now. I'm like directly comparing. Yeah, Berserk is like some Yu Yu Hakusho art style and art skill, which I actually think is inferior to Naruto. Yeah. I searched Ninja Scroll. And first of all, it's all the anime, which isn't exactly what I wanted. But second of all, it's the screen cap of the guy holding the lady, and the lady looks super fucking awkward. Yeah, I'm looking at the Ninja Scroll manga, and it's very simple. Excuse me. Surprisingly enough, it was hard to find manga pages when I googled that. I actually always thought that Air Gear had an impressive, some very impressive artwork. I just found it too what's the word I'm looking for here? There's a genre that I could use, like the Tenchi Muyo genre, which is just like one guy and like 5 girls. What is that called? I could say it was either that, or I could say it was just cringy. I'm just gonna go with it was cringy. Air Gear had too many cringe moments. It would have been really cool without him. Anyways, this game's been happening for like 2 or 3 minutes. And I was definitely not paying attention, so just gonna tell you right now. Epic survived the proxy gate and is now dealing with the run by of zealots while trying to engage herO on hero's side of the map, and it's not gonna work. 2 shield batteries, plenty of force fields, plenty of time for herO to buy, while his zealots actually continue to do damage. That's the real problem. If Epic dealt with the zealots with like 2 or 3 SCVs killed, and then also pulled back his army, I think he comes out of this kind of A-okay. Because his army's still intact, and the zealots were a big old waste. It's like 600, 700 minerals down the drain. But killing 10 SCVs plus distracting Epic for as long as it did, that's where I'm like, ooh, was that too much damage? Wow. Epic cancels his third. That's Oh, he's gonna pull the boys! You know, I don't mind it. What he saw on hero's side of the map was a completely gateway-based army. This is about to get awkward real quick, however, nothing for the Terran to actually stomp the force fields. You're not gonna get a Thor in this situation. The main base is being ransacked yet again from Zealots that apparently just ran by the natural. Like, what the flip is happening in this game? And Epic's just he's just doubling down. He's still gonna pull the same SCVs. Oh, the War Prism did come in. That's why the Zealots are in there. Well, you can't actually pull all your SCVs. Literally all. So this is just getting weird. I would say Epic might actually win this game if it wasn't for the Dark Shrine. But the Dark Shrine is going to make him lose any type of scrappy game. Shield Battery and Archon's usually pretty damn good, but that is a lot of firepower there from Epic, who has an upgrade lead too. The SCVs mostly did their job of soaking up the shots, but 1 DT at a time might ruin Epic's chances. And that's what I was getting into. That's what I was getting to, is that the DTs are probably what's going to ruin this game for Epic. That's if herO doesn't lose all of them and then lose the Dark Shrine, though. I mean, Epic still has some mules, or shit, scans. He hasn't used them all on mules. Oh no, Epic's still going to win this game. Well, more power to you, Terran. You show those DT bastards. Epic takes game 1. Harem anime, thank you. Anyways, going back to the anime discussion. First of all, so many things that were a part of that paragraph that I have to like dig into after I make this lobby. What? Give me the ladder maps. Hardwire. Oh. So, you know, at one point, Blizzard told us that you could change the server in the lobby. And that was a fucking lie. You have to go into your settings and change it. So anyways, that paragraph, right? So first of all, I was talking just like actual artistic skill. And some of those I'm not that impressed with, but that's, you know, whatever. Second thing I had issue with is the comparison. Okay, like the first thing of the second thing, okay, is that you can't compare literally like 4 mature audiences media with 4 young audience media. I feel like you're falling into that classic, like, 90s trap of saying that anime and manga is, like, this one particular thing. So anything it's not is inferior. But that's just not true. You don't say that, like, super dark, gritty Batman comics are superior to fucking Teen Titans. Because they're entirely 2 different things, even though they're both comics. Of course you would say that because we all have opinions, but you get what I'm saying, like, they're very different genres. Just a medium, right? So you're saying, like, yeah, if you like all this really mature stuff, then the kid stuff is gonna seem like kid stuff. Like, no fucking shit. And third of all, it's funny that you put like Naruto and Dragon Ball Z together because, yeah, they really aren't. From a maybe a genre point of view, you could say they are, but as far as like the timings of it, you know, we're talking about Dragon Ball Z being way before Naruto. And Dragon Ball, of course, way before that. So it feels like you also just picked, like, random generational comics. Although I know Dragon Ball Z is currently happening. I refuse to acknowledge Dragon Ball Super. It's stupid and I hate it. herO says it's okay. I find this very odd, by the way. I had no idea. Because again, I haven't made lobbies in years. I had no idea that the prompts in lobby didn't actually exist unless you chose it in your game settings. I feel like that's weird. This is one of those things where I'm like, why isn't it a default setting? I'm going to show you guys in a second. So, yeah. So I changed it, right? I'm going to explain this to you with far too much detail. You all are going to hate me. Wait a minute. Does it actually not show? Is it in this missing thing? Are you real right now? God damn it. Okay, I can't show you. Ah! Blizzard, please. But you know, they made it so that you can change the server in the lobby. I thought that was just across the board. That is literally what it was changed to. No, you have to go into your menu options, and above your server preference, you have to tick a box that says can be changed in lobby. What? Why is that not just a default thing? Why can't you just automatically make a lobby and change the thing? That feels like the better option. I feel as confused as I was when I found out that apparently newbies don't have, what is it? Enable enemy unit selection on. Like, why would they ever put that as not on by default? This is just gonna be me raging at things. This is just a stream of ZombieGrub yelling at clouds into the air at no one and everything. Ah! Okay, herO did send out another very, very early probe, but did not actually use it for a lot of mischief. Epic also sent out an earlier SCV, probably to both dissuade herO of mischief makings, as well as to threaten an engineering bay block. So herO took that threat at face value, doesn't try and play around with it, just goes for the Nexus at his third base. So out of the openers here, I think Epic does get the better option. Technically, as a Terran, yeah, I was gonna say, his economy is hit worse for all the random running arounds of the workers, because Terrans have workers that build their buildings, because they're not lazy asses like probes. So that already takes away our mineral income. And look at this lazy fucking probe. Look at him. He just planted it down and he left it. And you could go back to mining. We could go over and harass things. Like, super cool. Swear to God. But seriously, herO is not one base targeting, but he is very quickly targeting in proxy. So this is where I would suspect that killing the Marine is understandably a priority. Whereas I was kind of wondering about his Stalker usage last game. If you were going to follow up with a very quick Oracle, then killing even one Marine might offset the kill number for Marine versus Oracle, which is 4 now. Oh no, was it 5 now? It used to be 6, and now I'm just all typesick and puzzled. And when I say now, I am talking about the Oracle patch that happened like 5 years ago. You used to 3-shot SCVs, and it was tough. Well, whether it's 4 or 5, there's definitely not that many in the main base. Epic burrows a would have mind, but only after losing 7 SCVs. That's not so good. For Epic, it's very good for herO, though. So if you're cheering for herO, well done. herO takes an 8 worker lead and is adding on gateways and a Phoenix. So this third is actually going to come down that quickly. I don't know why the probe's still there. What if I accidentally give my enemy's unit a command? Wouldn't want that. I just... You know what the good news is? What the good news is? You know what? Well, a lot of these things have never been fixed. And I think some of these things, like the toggle box for enemy unit selection, I think we actually brought up to them while there were still developers in StarCraft. They just never got around to fixing it. Or they were very stuck in their ways. Convinced that would be more confusing for a new player to be able to click on the opponent's buildings than not. A lot of those guys moved to Frost Giant, right? And Frost Giant actually watched my mother try and play StarCraft. And they all were apparently very ashamed of themselves. Because they watched her go through the same tutorial that they all helped build 12 years ago. And they were all like, why did we do it like this? Why were we like this? This made no sense. Why we were so dumb? They weren't that bad to themselves, but... Apparently they are willing to admit when they just made some weird decisions. So an Oracle just killed... No, Widowmine just killed one of the Oracles. Second Oracle is still alive. And while herO would love to, because you made two, you want to, that makes a lot of sense. One's gonna do a good enough job. It's gonna be scouting. As far as games go, this hasn't been the best feeling TVP for Epic. I do really appreciate the way that Epic handled that, though. That was a very mature handling of the Adept shading in. So he realized that the tank fire would have actually caused more damage, which he's absolutely correct about. So he unsieges the tank, surrounds the Adepts with the SCVs, and that is a perfect situation to use your workers to surround Adepts when your army is close by to actually kill it. Oh! Oh! Epic! So cool. Trying to be so cool. Didn't work out. That's why SCVs have more health points. It built up muscle with all that construction. I love that theory. Oh, and guess what? Epic is gonna pull the boys again. I hope their muscles are flexing from building up all those buildings. Oracle dies, but I think it'd be a lot more impressive if this Warp Prism died. Epic is finding himself in a slightly similar scenario, but hasn't taken all that much SCV damage. He just literally decided this time around he is going to 2-base SCV pull, and herO is not really prepared for it. He does have a Guardian Shield and a Shield Battery. Oh, well, take that back. Shield Battery's a goner at this point, but the Guardian Shield's still in effect. And those force fields almost help to slice and dice the majority of the Marines. They still got a decent number of them. And with that many Zealots, the tanks are going to find themselves a little less useful than they were hoping, especially if they're going to get lifted anyway, so extremely not useful. I think the Marines are trying to focus fire down those Phoenix, but they're not doing it fast enough. Now, there we go. The Phoenix just actually ran out of that time on the Graviton beam, and the Marines are doing enough damage against those Zealots to actually win this game. By the looks of things, this is going to be really, really close, with that +1 especially, once again, really kicking on through here, and that Immortal didn't really end up getting to help. The Immortal is not that useful against the Marines. It was supposed to kill the tanks, but funnily enough, the tanks were protected by the Phoenix Lift. I don't think it's exactly how it went down, but there was some weird combination of units being good and not good against each other right there. And I think what is most important was that Epic was able to hit before the Archons were ready. I think Archons would have made an extremely big difference. So many of these Marines guaranteed dead if 2 Archon shots hit them. And actually, the Archons might still do the trick. The Stutter Step is coming in here as Epic tries his best to make this work, but it's so close and it's so difficult. When the Protoss can't actually return home to that shield battery, return home to more warp-ins, and what looks to be a second Archon. Now, herO is not exactly rolling in the dough either, and he's certainly not rolling in the gas anymore because he took his gases on his 3rd base. At least one of his gases on the 3rd base. He didn't take any on his 2nd base, or reverse that, but you know what I mean. So he has very limited gas income, so he can afford 1 Archon, 1 Sentry, only every so often. And those units are still really important. If he had 1,000 gas bank, he makes 3 Archons and a couple of Sentries. I think this is game over. And he certainly doesn't have that. Those force fields are now the deadliest thing that herO has. An epic, oh my goodness, almost microed off to the left side. Here come the reinforcements, though. A tank gets dropped. SCVs are once again pulled into this, and Epic is still continuing his 2-base all in. How much we're talking about the mining back at home? Like 6 SCVs are mining. The mules have been dropped. No Dark Shrine to worry about this time around. Gas gets taken out, but that's not really important. herO is starting to set up the surround. Those sentries are not going to go with the force fields here. No, he's not going to go for the surround. No, I don't. Actually, you don't have to commit this many zealots to stop the reinforcements. That is a lot of zealots to commit. And they're not going to find all of that much. I mean, they are going to... Okay, I'll put it... They are going to completely nip reinforcements. They are... There's no reinforcements right now. But I feel like 4 zealots would have done the same trick. Perhaps I'm wrong. We'll see if herO sacrifices too many zealots onto the other side of the map. Good pickup there from Epic. Barely able to do so with that very weak medevac. The bunkers provide that little bit of SimCity to actually help out. The zealots all get destroyed. And the Archons are forced to once again retreat back to the shield battery. But the overcharge is gone. But more zealots come in. The medevacs are now out of juice. But the bunkers are actually finishing out. The tank gets lifted. But the Phoenix gets focus fired. The second bunker isn't going to finish. But the first bunker isn't going to be enough. No, it's not. Epic is forced to tap out. Woohoo! herO barely holds. Barely holds in that second game. I think it would have been the easiest hold of his life if he had all those zealots on his side of the map, but that's fine. Either way. We have a tied up series. And I can only hope that they're going to let me actually choose the region this time around. Oh, I'll show you guys. Preferred game server, pick game server on lobby. Why isn't that just default ticked? Oh, I don't know. Doesn't make any sense. Heish. 3 is Blackburn. Did I do it right? Berlin. That's what he meant by that. Oh, I see what happened. I scrolled up to their map vetoes and their map picks, and Epic put 3rd as Blackburn, but herO corrected him and said it's Berlingrad. We're good to go now. We're actually playing on Central as well. Go me. Now we have a tied up series. Top left, herO. Bottom right, it is Epic. And it is officially Berlingrad. So what else has been happening in the brackets? Nice defeated Nina, now faces Pig. Goblin is facing Max Pax. Kier is waiting for someone. Special breezed past Golden and Gumiho. Didn't think there'd be as easy of a TVT, but yeah, I'm not surprised by it either. So Special waits for the winner of Trigger, who waits for the winner of this. So this match is currently holding up the bracket, no doubt because I took forever in my matchmaking. That's my bad. My lobby making skills are not what they used to be. Don't have that option enabled. Well, the game server thing, 90% of people are just never going to use it, right? They're never going to make a lobby in their life or care about the region specifically. They might make lobbies against friends, against AI, but they're not going to care about the region. But I feel like that makes it more viable to make it default, because it's not like anyone's going to notice anyways. I don't. So herO is doing a one-base build, and while this might seem initially like to Epic that it's going to be a proxy Stargate, it's definitely not going to be in proxy. This might be a good time to remind you all that we are playing this on the new patch. So Epic is doing everything you would expect the Terran player to do. He delays his command center despite that very much so being his intention. Goes for the factory, sends a Marine out to scout for whatever pylon is there, because there might be a pylon, might be a probe, maybe they're building Stargate. There wouldn't be a unit to protect it yet. Eventually one would come out. Eventually one would. It just, you know, the Marine would still be able to scout it. And sees nothing. Checks the other side with his SCV, sees nothing. It's like, what the hell? Why did you open up this way then? And I would say, good question, Epic. I really don't know what herO's plan is except to bamboozle you. And the bamboozling is effective. Epic, I think, is playing this as correctly as possible for how many question marks are probably going in his head right now. So, again, he has to assume that it's a proxy Stargate when he first sees the setup that he did. That's the most lethal thing. The quickest lethal thing. With this much gas anyways, I guess. And so you defend against that. So you delay your command center, you get your factory, you get a bunker. But then what he could have done incorrectly is still have no idea what's happening. And gone up to a starport and gotten mag-filled accelerator and then realized, wait a minute, hero's not doing anything. That would have been the worst case scenario there for Epic and the best case scenario for herO. As it is, I think herO forcing Epic to play off a factory to expand here is not the worst thing. I feel like herO just makes Epic equal. They both did weirdly non-economic openers. So, yeah. Epic's down 7 SC, well, almost 8 SCVs. To be fair, he did put his command center on the high ground, so that's probably a bit farther behind. So it's not completely even. Because that would have been very courageous of him to get on location command center when you're still wondering what the hell's happening. But I feel like he did about the only thing you could expect the Terran player to do, which is take the threat seriously, and then about as fast as possible realize that it's a bamboozle. Say, oh, wait a second. No, I'm not that worried. Just kidding. Oh, this is unfortunate, though. All right. Well, this is what Epic didn't want to have happen. Not just the Phoenix lifting his Cyclones and a very late SCV repair. Totally unhelpful, but the Adepts getting in as well. Those 2 Cyclones could have been repaired. Well, the 1 Cyclone could have been repaired anyways. But I think this is more so what herO is finding a success in. So Epic is now down 14 workers, which is a big difference. And those Phoenix are just going to continue gaining value over time. They're going to find a medevac right there, not sacrifice any of their lives. Yeah, I think Epic really needed to defend the Phoenix perfectly. He did not. Gets 1 Phoenix there, can repair the Viking. That's something. But Epic's gonna be in a very difficult situation. Is he gonna 2-base SCV pool again? Perhaps. Is it gonna work? I don't think so. Because I don't think herO... Oh! herO's bringing in Resonant Glaives again. He does seem to like bringing this back. But regardless if it was Charge or Resonant Glaives, I was gonna say, it looks like with the amount of gases that he's taken, he could actually add on a Templar Archives. And I think having those Archons earlier with the help of the Shield Better at that 3rd base would have really stopped that 2-base aggression. would not have been nearly as close of a game. But the 4 gases are going to contribute more so to Phoenix and Adept production. So it's going to be interesting to see what that works out against a 2-base SCV pool. I'm trying to think. Have we ever seen an SCV pool against Adepts? Mass Adepts? Usually not, because even when Mass Adepts was a tactic against Terran, because it hit first, if the Terran's idea was to SCV pool, they kind of have to... The first test is surviving the Adept attack in the first place, right? And then maybe they do SCV pool, and maybe I have cast games like that in the way back whens. Not sure. But anyways, herO is starting to lose some of his Phoenix, which still doesn't equalize the game, but 3 Phoenix down, one of them absolutely for free, just misrallied. Epic maybe feels a little bit more confident about this game, but he actually has no idea what's happening. He's probably going to assume that it's Phoenix Charge, because that is... I don't know, that just seems like something that herO would do, right? Honestly, but he has no information, so he doesn't know if it's Phoenix Colossus, he doesn't know if it's Phoenix Resonating Glaives, and that's exactly what it is. So these Adepts are going to be able to shade beyond this army and trap them, and that's exactly what herO's going to try and do. And it's going to work! Yeah, the tanks are going to get some shots. The bunker, at the very least, was still up and running, and the SCVs have been pulled to try and support this, but I don't know if the DPS is going to be there for Epic. Most of his Marines are dead. Just the 4 Marines in the bunker is not going to cut it. He needed to have the Marines able to kite back away from the Adepts and utilize their range, but no. herO, cheeky boy. Epic just had no idea. Would have been better if he had Widow Mines. I'm sure someone's going to point that out, but even then, if the Adepts get on you like that, your Widow Mines just hurt you too. So it's not the end-all be-all response. It's just tricky. It's very tricky. GG. So herO now faces Trigger. And I'm gonna follow that.